Episode 23 Sustenance. Few anxieties follow a human being as persistently as the question of provision. Why do some lives widen while others tighten? Why do doors open for some, yet remain closed for those who planned carefully and worked tirelessly? The Quran does not avoid that tension, it addresses it directly. أولم يعلموا أن الله يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. Do they not know that Allah expands provision for whom He wills and restricts it? Indeed, in that are signs for a people who believe. Surah Zumar, verse 52. أولم يعلموا, do they not know? The verse opens with surprise, not because provision is hidden, but because its patterns are obvious. Human beings already know that lives do not unfold equally. Some are given more, others are given less. Some find ease where little effort appeared, others struggle despite great effort. The problem is not that people do not see this, the problem is that they misread it. They treat provision as a verdict on worth. The verse interrupts that reading at its root. You already know how provision works. We have just not understood what it means. أن الله يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر. That Allah expands provision for whom He wills and restricts it. This is the first correction. Provision expands by the will of Allah, not by effort alone, not by intelligence alone, not by strategy alone. Human effort has its place, but effort does not manufacture provision. It meets it. Then the verse places restriction beside expansion. This matters because the human being instinctively treats abundance as honor and scarcity as humiliation. The Quran dismantles that assumption. Expansion and restriction come from the same source. Both belong to the same design. Sometimes abundance exposes arrogance. Sometimes restriction protects the heart. The verse does not define provision through quantity. It defines it through its source. Part of the confusion lies in how narrowly people define risk. They reduce it to money. The Quran speaks more broadly. Risk is everything from which a person benefits. Health is risk. Safety is risk. Guidance is risk. The moment a person returns to Allah after years of distance is risk. Once this becomes clear, the landscape changes. A person who thought himself deprived may realize how much he already has. Another who thought himself fortunate may discover how little of what truly matters he actually possesses. The verse is not only speaking about wealth, it is speaking about what sustains a life. إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who believe. Unequal provision is not random, it is a sign. It reveals something about the human being. Some receive abundance and become arrogant. Others receive abundance and become grateful. Some meet scarcity with resentment. Others meet it with patience. The outward condition may look similar. The inward response reveals the truth. That is why not everyone reads provision correctly. One person sees only inequality and concludes that the world is unfair. Another sees the same reality and recognizes a test unfolding under divine wisdom. Faith does not change the pattern, it changes how you read it. The Prophet ﷺ answered the anxiety around provision directly. Jabir bin Abdullah radiallahu anhu narrates that the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said, يا أيها الناس اتقوا الله وأجملوا في الطلب فإن نفسا لن تموت حتى تستوفي رزقها وإن أبطأ عنها فاتقوا الله وأجملوا في الطلب خذوا ما حل ودعوا ما حرم. O people, fear Allah and be moderate in seeking provision, for no soul will die until it has received all of its provision, even if it is slow in coming. So fear Allah and be moderate in seeking provision. Take what is lawful and leave what is unlawful. This does not cancel effort, it purifies it. You still work, you still strive, but you stop chasing provision as though it were fleeing from you. You stop treating delay as abandonment. You stop letting fear push you into what Allah made unlawful. What is written for you is not fragile. Even the pace at which it arrives belongs to the design of the one who wrote it. Provision is one of the clearest places where the human being misreads his relationship with Allah. He looks at what others possess and imagines that provision is a measure of success. He looks at what he lacks and quietly wonders whether something has gone wrong. The verse dismantles that entire narrative. Expansion and restriction both belong to Allah, both are signs, and neither is a final statement about your worth. Your rizq is not a verdict, it is a test revealing your trust. So the question left behind by the verse is not how much provision a person has been given, it is far simpler than that. When you look at what Allah has placed in your hands, do you see what you lack or what you have been given?